top left-hand corner. A Red Terran player representing Team Liquid. This is none other than Clem, the DreamHack Atlanta champion. Yeah, so cool to see him win an event. I've probably said this a couple of times now. When I first started casting these Christmas Day games, I started casting some of these before Atlanta was done. But now Atlanta has finished up as I wrap up the rest of them. It's so cool to see Clem as an offline champion. Actually, both these players similar stories because in the bottom right, Solar, he went and won a GSL this year after so many years of trying. Both these players picking up big offline prestigious tournament victories in the year of 2023 after being so good, especially online for so long. You say Solar wins a tournament, you're not surprised if it's an online event. Same for Clem. This really was kind of taking things to another level for these guys. Yeah, Solar's been there and done it before many years ago, but obviously actually got and win a GSL of all things is really stepping it up to that whole new level. Obviously, interestingly, these guys did play in Atlanta. That was a 5-game series. It was 3-2 in favor of Clem, obviously, as they played in the quarterfinals. Will we see... excuse me. Will we see that go the same way? I would love it. I'd love to see our 5 games here. We'll find out exactly how it goes in the near future. Hatch, gas, and pool all coming up. And we see a couple of drones on the way out, getting this on the go immediately. Reaper and an orbital command coming through. Meanwhile, on the side of Clem, nothing too crazy in the first few minutes of the game. Nothing too wild just yet as an SCV. It's going to wander down across the map, so we will follow that SCV, shall we, and see what it is up to for a couple of moments of scouting here in the early stages. Again, meanwhile, the Reaper, the Orbital, the Command Center all continue to build up as well as just bringing a little bit of everything on the way in for these early few moments. The SCV comes down. Is going to spot the natural expansion. Again, pretty much as it should be. Everything's normal, right? So there's not much for Clem to really worry about. Although that SCV scout determines what you do with the Reaper. In this case, nothing weird's going on. There's no reason for the Reaper to stay at home, so the Reaper will instead just head out onto the map. Like I say, just no reason for it to do otherwise in this situation. And so it will not. Down and across we head, and this Reaper about to arrive into the bottom corner. Hatchery does go down on the third base, doesn't get to block that or anything, so that's good timing from Solar. As the Reaper starts to dance with the first couple of Zerglings already, starting to get the first little bits and bobs of damage done. And so far, so good on the defense of Solar. He doesn't lose anything in this process thus far. Again, the couple of CCs continuing up as well. Continue to bring that into play. As the Reaper continues to hang around the front, link speed is still coming up as well, so we continue to get that on the go. Thing's gonna hop up into position to deal with this. Obviously, link speed's gonna be a little while, only just starting now. That faster third hatchery does have a little bit of an impact on that, so we will see just a little while where Clem may be able to dance around those Zerglings still and maybe do something, but it is just the one Reaper, which means that there's not too much overall happening here. I do have our third CC coming up in the main base. Again, link speed still building through. Reaper trying to hop up and hop down against the Zerglings. In the end, it does decide to back away in full. And yeah, just going to continue to dance about a little bit. A couple of Hellions continue by. Lings are going to fight for a few moments here. And again, just going to come back with the little bit of everything else. Towards the end, the Hellion of Clem heads back down the left side. Obviously, we're reactoring those Hellions. He's going to have a few of them very soon to be able to play with and to utilize. We'll see just how well he can do with those. Clem, quite divey with his Hellions, honestly. When he does play reacted Hellions, he's not afraid to kind of dive them across the map, get them in positions, and just try to hit mineral lines early and repetitively. So maybe a possibility we could look towards here as those couple Hellions and the Reaper move about for a couple moments. Again, looking to see if the opportunity is about to arise for them. The chance for them to move through into a mineral line. 2 more Hellions coming as well behind all of this Cloak Banshees with that third CC. Really just the Terran Hellion Banshee. Just super safe way to open. Super good way to kind of deal some harassing damage. That's a good grenade. It's going to pop the Queen towards the Reaper Hellion. So it's going to make this Queen quite exposed, quite far off creep. Means as well it can't drop a transfusion. It was not in too much danger in the end. Solar is going to be able to keep that alive, and he will do just that. That Queen staying alive is a big deal. The first Banshee on the map now as Clem will look for some of that damage. Hellions coming about. Try and see what we got going on. Again, Hellions back into the center. Just seeing the lair, the spores. Preparations begin. The Banshee's about to arrive. This is the base that does have a spore already. Clem goes a little bit deep to get rid of one drone. Only the one. Solar does get the other drone away from there. So one drone goes down. The Hellions again poisoned. If there's a missed opportunity defensively, I think Clem will be on top of it immediately with those Hellions. He is not looking to waste any time in that regard, as the few Hellions continue to hang out back over on the left-hand side. So they come back over there. Banshee Hellions, the Reaper, come back over. And again, just taking position one more time. I mean, they're going to be able to pressure this fourth base a little bit. Haven't really talked much about the map, but this is Golden Aura, which is a pretty sizable map for the most part. It's a pretty big map. Just going to be seeing a couple of Banshees, putting some damage in. The Hellions thinking about maybe diving into that natural. Not quite going to commit in the end, though. And now the Banshee's going to pull back around to the left-hand side, where this Hatch is going to take some damage once again. Actually taking a lot of shots in these early stages. Hellions still fighting at the front. First Queen is going to go down, so we lose one Queen immediately. The Zerglings joining up together as well. And plenty of those Hellions off over on the other side, just going to be still looking for their chance. I do like that we're denying the creep in a big way, though, right? The creep is barely in front of any of these bases. You know, if you keep the creep pushed back like this as Clem, you're going to have a very good time, given a little bit more time to develop. I think he's doing a very good job of that for sure. So credit to Clem, he's definitely doing a good job of just making sure that Solar's life is not allowed to be easy, essentially. Keeping this as pinned back as he possibly can. We do see the Hydra Den about to finish. Ling Bane still coming through. Melee upgrades and Baneling's speed all coming up as well. And those few Marines with the medevac just going to come down the left-hand side, where they might be able to find themselves some opportunities here. Again, just with having denied the creep, Solar does not have a lot of the safety net that you might usually have as a Zerg. Instead now, the medevac coming across with a couple of siege tanks, and the position you can take here as Clem is very cool. This high ground, tank, you know, put them on the corners, get some damage done with them, and really just cover this ramp so you can push up and down this ramp as the Terran player. I think that's got to be the goal here from Clem. It does look like that's going to be his game plan over these next couple moments. We do see the tank sieging. The Marines actually take a stim forward already. First Queen's already taking shots. Solar does not have any counterattack on the map, not looking to deny the third base or do anything over there during this. And yeah, with those tanks here, it's just so difficult for Solar to commit in. If he wants to come from the flank around this direction, Clem already has the Hellions here to deal with it and to give him a bit of pre-warning. Tanks want to target fire Banelings, that's going to be their role. He doesn't target fire on the second set of shots there, but he does get far enough away. Every Baneling just melts. Oh my goodness, Solar has just lost everything. Okay, not everything. He's got a few Hydras and a few Lings left, but he lost the main chunk of his army, and especially the Banelings. They found no connections at all. That was a disgustingly good fight for Clem. 1.5 to 4.5k resources lost. That is not a competition, guys. That is not a fair example of how these games are meant to go. That is absolutely wondrous for Clem. He really has put himself in fantastic position here. And now, just going to reinforce it. He did lose his siege tanks, so that was the one thing he missed out on, but keeping every Marine alive and no Banelings being left over really sets the tone for what is to come. As now these few Banes that are ready to go for round 2 are not exactly starting off in the best of locations. Marines continue forward. The Queens will take some extra shots. And we just continue to press on through. This hatchery will take a little bit more damage. It will actually just go down. So this position that Solar's been trying to defend has been all for nothing. I mean, I guess you don't want to give it up freely because then your other bases come into trouble. It's interesting, though, because this is meant to be a map that's very well defended, but taking that left side base, I mean, compared to this base here, I think it's much easier to defend this base compared to those tanks being able to siege up this high ground. But obviously just not going to happen in this one. This is going to be GG straight away. Clem is going to wallop Solar in game number 1. He's going to barely give Solar a chance to get started. And Clem is going to be off to a 1-0 lead in this best of 5 series. Of course, semifinals here in the WardiTV Christmas Day Games. And again, what a way to start things off as Clem. Upfront player in the top right-hand corner of the map. This, of course, is Clem. Battles against the blue Zerg in the bottom left corner of the map. We are going to have ourselves Solar. As we just get this all underway, all started up for the early few moments. Looking to see where we can go. Obviously, see if Solar's going to play anything different this time around. Honestly, I feel like this position was just so good for Clem, and then upon realizing you had to break out of that as Solar, well, you just saw it all go very wrong very quickly at that point, right? So, Definitely became a little bit difficult. Hatchery does go down just on the natural over here. Then from Solar, gets that in position straight away. We do have the Overlord of Solar currently heading out across the map as well. So just moving that over to the other side. Off and away it goes, flying over our Ursa deck here as well. So just getting that across, say, to the other side of the map. For the moment, so far so good. Ovi is obviously just on a scouting pattern. Is with barracks first. No low ground barracks, no Reapers or anything. It's going to be that barracks on the high ground. A Reaper starts up. First couple SCVs start to pop out and they move across over towards the bottom left. One of them goes to just build the command center. One of them goes to actually go and build itself not build itself anything, to go scout for these early stages. That's going to be the plan. Just getting all of that set up for the moment. SCV just going to patrol around then on the higher front. Like I say, I mean, scouting the fact it's a hatchery first already is good information. What's interesting is that SCV sticking around, wants to make sure nothing leaves the base before Clem is aware of it. So Clem just being very wary, keeping that SCV there till the Reaper's ready. I think he just wanted to know as well whether there's a third base trying to be taken straight away. That might have affected his next stage of this in terms of how he approaches it and what he does next. So you can kind of understand the decision. Just, again, stick around there a couple more moments. Reaper coming in, putting some damage out, getting a couple of shots off. For, again, just a few moments in these early stages. Queen is going to be there to push Reaper back once more. And again, the scouting continues from Clem. Tries to get back up into this main base. The Queen is there, though, and the Reaper will just be pushed away for the moment. So no luck found at the moment. Not allowed to get in on this side. Well, with the Reaper just hopping about a little bit, obviously that is still the point of interest. So I was getting an Overlord around the back, so he'll eventually be able to scout a little bit more of what is going on throughout these early stages, so that information is being gathered. So yeah, benefit there, obviously just being able to scout nice and easily, just keeping that scouting up. Job well done for the moment. Reaper is going to get pushed away one more time. Still got the link speed, still got the couple of Hellions coming through, mind you, so they're all on the way up. As we continue through, a couple more Hellions will start to get out onto the map. First one already leading the charge out down to the bottom left-hand side. So away it goes. Very similar from Clem, but he's not going to play the Cloak Banshees this time. He's going to switch it up. He's actually going to go into the Liberator. This, for me, is like bread and butter Clem, right? You know, Hellion Liberator. He's so good at harassing with this Liberator. It's kind of ridiculous. I think it was so it's a little bit awkward because I cast the Beyond Dark series a day or two ago. I think it was in the Beyond Dark series from the semifinals of today's Christmas Day Games where you kind of saw Beyond using the lib, and it goes okay, right? It like sieged up or re-sieged a couple of times over, and then that was kind of it. Expect Clem's Liberator to do so much more. He is going to be so annoying with this thing. He's going to re-siege it multiple times. At least usually he does. Obviously, there's going to be the odd occasion. Maybe he does not. But typically, he is an absolute machine with this Liberator, and he finds so many ways to just reposition it. He's so good at just paying attention and noticing where he should be or where he should go next, etc. That is really being the beauty of Clem across a lot of these, across a lot of his TvZs over time, right? That just has been one of Clem's biggest strengths, so we'll see what he, like I say, goes into this time around. We'll see how good that Liberator can be. It's already coming around, sieging up the back of the third, gets a drone. Squall comes in, he unsieges, he's going to move deeper. The reason he moved left here is because now you have the option of the third or the natural, right? So you have multiple options of where you go. So it just gives you more chance of being annoying with the Liberator here, and that's exactly what Clem is aiming for. That's exactly what he wants to get out of this. And right now, he's just going to leave it there. Right now, there's not an option, but he can leave it there for a little while, bring it back in later. And again, that's going to continue to be the annoyance that you can kind of be as Clem throughout the course of this game. So, yeah, another reason why things are just going to look good for him the next little bit. Hellions come back around over to the left-hand side then. So they're going to change their direction up just a little bit as well. As you have your Hellions poking around. Queens and some Creep Jammers going down across the front as well. 1-1 upgrades and the combat shields continue to produce. And Ling's Lair, the Baneling Nest build, and also Hellions are going to go down the bottom right. A couple of Lings going to get absolutely busted down immediately, so a little bit of damage right away. We actually get ourselves a kill on this hatch. That would obviously be a little bit overkill. You'd be kind of surprised if that much damage came out of this. As the Hellions and the Reaper work their way back around that right-hand side. Still got the 110 building from Solar on that third base. 4th and 5th hatcheries going down also. Baneling speed, another stop along the way here from Solar, so just going to get that on the go. And yeah, 1-1 upgrades, combat shield, all of that still being brought just into play right now. Marines are joining up together, moving down the right side with Medivacs and Hellions to come along with them. Just that Liberator sieged up over here as well. It's just chilling down at that 6 o'clock between a couple of bases. Also looking to maybe cause a little bit of trouble as, again, the Queens of Solar like to try and maybe make a bit of a defense here, a bit of a stand if at all possible. And Hellion pushes forward. The hatchery already starting to take some damage. We see 5 SCVs, 8, 9 SCVs going down. Ling run by into the natural on the other side is going to be good from Solar. So damage being done over there, that is beneficial to our Zerg. The Marine Hellion otherwise just going to stand tight and try and fight. Oh, I mean, the run by is being cleaned up now, but 12 SCVs lost means that Solar has done good damage. His army supply really is not here. Baneling speed is about to kick in. Boy, does he need that to help out just a little bit. Finally, these Banes are a bit better at chasing down these Marines. Clem will kite off creep, though, and off creep at least he will be able to trade pretty darn well. He has gotten 7 drones. The Liberator came back in. I told you guys, retention of these units, just able to so many times over just get it back out, relocate it. Okay, here he took a few shots, maybe a few more shots than I would have expected Clem to take. But you know what? Still love it for him. I mean, he already did the extra damage you were kind of looking for, right? And that is a big deal. So being able to get that extra damage done, absolutely huge. As now we have Marine Hellbat coming around the other side as well. Marines and Hellbats continue to gather together, and we do get ready to push in this position. Another counterattack from Solar already launching itself to the other side of the map, so that's going to try and take the position here straight into the natural. This time Clem has units left behind, so no need to look at that. Let's look back onto this fight as Clem sets up. He's still desperate to get this base, been pressuring this position for quite some time now. And a couple of Banelings getting shot down already. Marines and Hellbats continue to push through. And the Queen's coming forward with the Ling Bane also. Keep on coming forward with this. Again, they're going to see a siege tank just coming by as well. A few Lings going to come across. Meanwhile, we got Marines and Widow Mines over to the left, so I love this. As Solar just about holds onto this hatchery bottom right, Clem's already setting up attacks elsewhere in the game. So, again, being the aggressor at the moment. 2-2 upgrades about to finish up on those evolution chambers. First Widow Mine hits the mineral line. He didn't. I was going to say, you don't really want this Widow Mine to go off on these Lings because there's not enough Lings to justify the shot. And it did, in the end, friendly fire onto those Marines. That did turn into a little bit of a disaster. Hive building up. That Lurker Den will go down. Solar, if he can survive until Lurkers, it's one of the, he's one of the better Zerg players at kind of playing out games when he is able to get to the stage of the game where you get Lurkers online. If your Banelings crash in, if your Marine's going to get jumped. You have on the right side these other Marines trying to fight. The Queen's taking some damage again. Taking some shots. The Lings are going to run through, try and clean up this position finally. Of course, this is where Clem should just lift and, in this case, drop high ground for a couple more kills. Again, the activity Clem can provide on a map is really outstanding. Gets his 4th base in position. 5th already starting to build. Meanwhile, Solar, credit to him, it's not easy to survive these onslaughts of Clem time and time again. 5 bases in total at the moment from him, so he has a lot of bases available to him. He has good economy, and he is making his way into Infestors and Lurkers. Those are the things which really do change games for Solar, and also will break down a lot of the momentum that Clem is able to build up as well. So, just in general, those are, some things that are making, having good progress made towards him right here. These Banelings are really going to dig deep towards those Marines, really going to try and find something. Doesn't get anything done. Again, watching this bottom right corner at the same time because the Marines move forward here. They see the Infester. Kills it before anything goes off from it, though. That's nice from Clem. A little bit of a slow response there from Solar. That Widowmine does get split away from, so it wasn't super devastating. Marines still setting up here. A few more Lings going down. The Hydra's taking damage. Overseer overhead goes down. Banelin's being shot down. Another Overseer might be a grab. I think at this point you're not going to kill too much more army. I'm going to say these Hydras can step forward and go for the Medivacs if you stick around there as Clem. He did realize it and just fix that in the end. Another Queen goes down. This hatchery goes down. Lings are still dropping. We pull over to the right side where now we're going to get rid of 1 Queen, 2 Queen, 3 Queens. Just going to pick off all of those. Lings plus 1 missiles and a whole bunch of Hydras on the map from Solar. He needs a few moments just so he can get into that lurker production, right? And to maybe set up some defenses. But yeah, you lose this base over here. You're still dealing with the drop over there. Clem is reinforcing at the same time. Maybe Clem gets caught a little off guard here. There's a little split on the Widow Mines and the bio units, but Solar does not seem to be able to capitalize on that. And Clem is back in the bottom right to deny a base once more. So that base that was killed previously is going to be cancelled as it tries to re-establish. And now this base, which has a lot of the current mining on it from Solar because the drones transferred there, well, that was under fire. It does not go down, but it does obviously drop low on HP, about half HP. And until another base comes back online, these drones have nowhere else better to be. So just double saturation on a base. It's a lot of wasted drones that are doing really no benefit at all to the economy of Solar at the moment. Couple more shots. Still a Marauder leading the charge up here. Baneling going to take a few hits. Bane's continue to roll in. Widowmine's burrowing. Bane is going to have to turn forward. The Heron, very big Widowmine shot, going to be able to connect. Bottom right side, a few Marines are going to unload once again. A few more Zerglings being knocked down. Baneling's taking damage as well. Fire will come through. Just going to be seeing a couple of Vipers coming by. There is going to be Parasitic Bombs dropping down. Clem eating Parasitic Bombs, but splitting away nicely, minimizing damage he takes on those Medivacs. Doing a very good job of it at the moment as well. So again, Clem playing some top-level TvZ. But Solar, I mean, don't get me wrong, Solar's finally started to be broken down a little bit, but how much can he hang in there? He's got lurkers up. This game is about to change pace from a lot of these fast-paced, multi-pronged attacks to now Clem going to have to play with the Ghost, going to have to play a much slower game, a much more kind of slowly advancing game, right? These are all things you need to start doing instead. As he drop a missile turret down over on the right side. Slings and Hydras will knock down a set of rocks on the middle of the map as well, so we will just go and pick our way through that straight away. Extra Banelings coming up. The Lurkers are going to unburrow. And there's Bio Army. Just going to take a chase up here. The Lurkers just weren't burrowed, so we lose the Lurker. I mean, he unburrowed them, but he didn't send them anywhere, right? So they were just sitting there doing nothing. And Solar does find a chance to dive up through the center while Clem's focusing around the sides. Solar takes the attention elsewhere. That's a good Widowmine shot defensively, but the unit's trying to come back home to defend. Eat a fungal growth. They eat more than just the fungal, they eat a lot of damage, and Solar is in a pretty deadly position where Clem can't get a lot of his units back into play. Some of Clem's bases are going to be separated off from Clem's potential defense here. I mean, there's another Widowmine that's going to blow up. Nope, it actually gets blown up by the Banelings, so that's going to be a factor too. Still got these units moving around. 10 SCVs going down as well. Lurkers burrow up over here, and a few of these SCVs will start to drop also. It's just going to be seeing those SCVs taking a bit of damage. Hydra's coming back around the other side. Widowmine goes off for the Overseer as well. What a disastrous few moments from Clem. Solar really finding the magical moment up through the middle of the map. It seems so simple, right? It's like, oh, just click through the middle. But it's really about finding the time to do that because you've let Clem, Clem's, not just let him, but Clem has had a lot of control on the map. Finding the chance where he really is maybe a bit over-focused to the left or the right. If Clem's in defensive position, this attack never works. It's about, again, Clem almost distracting himself too heavily and not noticing, and then Solar capitalizing on that moment. So great play from Solar, definitely keeps him much more in this game than he was previously. It's still not a one game by any stretch of the imagination. It's very far from being decided because you can see Solar's economy is good, but so is Clem's. The supplies are still close to maxing out, and both players are going to re-establish to about 4 to 5 bases each. They're still on fairly even economies. Players come through, and Depot will go down. Let's continue our way down to the south. We'll see more Bio pushing over to the left-hand side. Overlords will take a couple shots there. Banelings will get picked off by the Bio. Just pulls away. It's going to be seeing a few Widow Mines burrowed up. The Bio Force on the bottom side is going to come forward again. Pushing straight in here. The Banes are going to go hunting. Victory upgrade still coming through on the Evolution Chambers of Solar. So continue to bring those 3-3 into play. Still on the other side, the left side, Ling Hydra pushing forward. Going to go after some of that Bio as well. Bio taking quite a few shots, and again, just Ling Hydra, all coming up. You'll see this push into the top left side. Planetary Force will take some damage. Ling's got a wraparound. I mean, if he can deny bases, Solar should be able to do okay. I don't think that base is going down, though. That's going to survive, so that's a big deal. Solar's giving up a lot of units on that base, not getting rid of it. Meanwhile, not really winning the fight over here either. Blinding Clouds go down, but Clem is going to stand his ground. A couple more snipes. Lurkers keep dropping. And so far, this army of Clem is able to, like I say, hold its ground and push this back. Fire still coming through. A couple of Hydras getting knocked down. Festas, Banelings, Hydras, plus 3 melee upgrade all coming through. The Bioforce and the Ghost settle down as well. Coming over to the left. Plus 3 vehicle plating on the way up. As Clem really just gets into each and every upgrade. Supplies are favoring Clem. Money is not really existing from Solar. He's only got the money which he's only really got the money which he can he's only really got the money he's mining. He's kind of just not got a banker set up or anything, which is definitely a little bit concerning as well. With a Widow Mine shot or two here. Some of the Bio-Units getting caught in that. Clem split pushing. How dangerous is this? There's only really one lurk on this top side. We sniped down a couple Queens to help make progress into the base initially. And again, Clem is controlling both of these armies just at different points, just going one way, then looking the other. Here he's definitely not paying attention. That Fungal's going to catch everything. Money Fungal from Solar, but what's happening on the other side? If Clem's losing a fight here, is he winning on the top left? It does look like it. Pushing through, a couple good snipes, sniping down the Hydras even. Solar continue to lose expensive units. He's going to lose a base. I did mention, right, this idea of, hey, look, if you're Solar in this game, you kind of don't have a lot of money, right? So these bases are super important. So losing access to these bases right now is really rough for you. That's a big problem. That continues to go and take shape. Fire comes across there, knocks down that Hydra. Going to be seeing more Lurkers, Hydras, Lings, and Banes all producing through. I mean, Solar just spending the money where he can. To be fair, so is Clem. Clem also didn't have exactly a big bank or anything. Widow Mine's firing up, Ling Hydra will continue in. More Lurkers coming about, just seeing our army going back over the left-hand side. Army gets pulled away as the Bioforce continues to push through to the bottom. So the Widow Mine shot goes off on the Lurk once again. More Lurker, just going to get picked away out here. Zerglin still pressing through. 10 drones going down this bottom side base, hit by Widow Mines. As Clem is just going to have to evacuate with these medevacs pulling back up to the upper side. The Lings are going to get grabbed by all of those Marines. Both players lost a few workers then, so obviously still getting some SCVs of Clem as well. This duel just continues. Clem, the thing is, Solar actually has a nice creep spread up the middle, but he doesn't have good creep spread anywhere near where it really matters. My goodness, these mines, I thought they were cleaned up, but they were still there, so they fire again. Solar didn't clean them up in time. That's another chunk of drones going down. And that's going to mean that he's so much worse off in terms of money. Liberator Sieges, Bio presses through, a couple of Lings already being cleaned out. And Widow Mines trying to burrow up as well. The Hydras will get pushed back. Hatchery is going to get picked away out here. We're just going to be seeing the Widow Mines still going off. A few more Lings coming through as well. I mean, with the Hatchery going down, those are the big losses. That's where Solar really struggles, because he's not going to have the production or the money to just keep staying in this game much longer. Clem slowly edging himself further and further ahead here on Hecate Game 2, looking for a 2-0 lead in this best of 5 as Lings and Lurkers dive to the right side. Now Clem's base at least has to evacuate, so Solar is going to be able to get one back on the board. Is that enough to make up for what Solar has taken damage-wise? We're actually going to see Clem start to clean these units out as well, so starting to take this fight. Overseer is being sniped down as well. Lurker after Lurker going down. There's not really many Banelings in this. The Fungal honestly isn't that impressive. We burrowed all the Lings and Hydras. Well, I think that's just a misclick, but I'm not sure. It definitely doesn't help. I'm not sure if it makes much difference in terms of, I think Clem was kind of winning this spot anyways. That just means that Clem's going to win it a little bit harder. I just do not see Solar having enough right now. One more Fungal lands on the Ghost, Marines, and a Widowmine. Flying Hydra still building. Ghost and Marines still popping out. This army of Solar gets back down to the bottom side once again. Clem is actually going to get a good Widowmine shot too. Pushing through the middle. Well, not really through the middle, I guess. Down the bottom right corner one more time. Eats a Fungal growth, so again, not perfect. Widowmine goes off. A few Lings getting caught. The Ghost will snipe it up. And you see the Hydra's getting chased away. Hydra, Viper Ling being introduced, but I just don't see what you do. I mean, there's so much from Clem. You see the Infest is going down as well, and this is just going to be GG's. Clem is going to take a 2-0 lead in the best of 5. Looking absolutely monstrous so far in this series. Right here, if this man just continues to dominate in the bottom right-hand side, our red Terran player from Team Liquid, this is Clem. He takes on the blue Zerg, top left from onside. Solar has not been able to do very well so far in this. Sorry guys, I accidentally pressed the plus button for a moment while swapping to the other side of the map. The game sped up for a few seconds. Apologize. Alex gets going on the high ground. Overlord is setting up as well as we get going here for the first few moments of this game number 3. Our final semi-final in the Christmas Day Games. Obviously, Dark sits waiting in the grand finals for the winner of this series. Our best of 7 will be coming up after this as well, so sit tight, don't go far. Put off the Christmas dinner for a little while longer if you can. Of course, check out the VOD, available immediately on Twitch, later in the week on YouTube. Hatchgas and Pool all coming up then. Reaper on the way, Orbital coming out. This set up for the first few moments. We'll have the SCV Scout Clem doing this in the previous game as well, just checking with the SCV, seeing what's up, check it's a hatchery first. And then he knows he can bring the Reaper across the map safely, so he's going to go and do that. Let's just have the SCV checking up the high ground, can't do too much there. The drone's still popping through, the Queens are coming in. And the Reaper of Clem begins to move back to the upper left-hand side of the map. So that's just going to come moving across over there as well. For a few moments, nothing too crazy. As we have the Queen firing it up. Reaper will take a few shots of damage. Some damage being taken. Moving down to the low ground here. Factory coming up. CC on the way in. Second CC on the way in from Clem as well, so just tripling it up. Triple command center it is. I mean, he's played that every game so far. One game with the Cloak Banshees and the next game with the Liberator. He's been pretty consistent at the very least with what he's been setting up for. As the Reaper moves back down into the low ground. Link speed still coming through. Drones on the way, Queen on the way. All of that continues to get on the go. A couple of Hellions about to finish up on the factory, so we'll be able to see those join with the Reaper, of course. And as the starport begins, the question really becomes what's it going to be. No tech lab on the barracks, so this looks as though maybe it's a Liberator, is what I was about to say, but then the Marines stopped building, but still no tech lab, so more likely a Liberator than anything else. Maybe there's a world you build a medevac, but if you build a medevac and an armory and go for something else, then I would feel as though you would have probably gone for... Actually, I would have said kept on building Marines, The Viking maybe makes me believe in a potentially like a Hellbat attack as well. You clean out the Overlord, you go across the Hellbats, but I don't know. I think you would have kept building Marines. Now we're building the Tech Lab. Doesn't really make sense to just go with Hellbats only when you could have also had 5 Marines with it, right? So it doesn't seem like that would be the case here. Uh-oh. Hellions actually getting a bunch of these Lings. No speed just yet. No Lings now out, and so this is going to be a commitment from Clem. He's going to stay on the natural. Decides to stay there. Gets himself a second drone kill. Now up to 3 workers, still working around in this main base as well. Also just forces Solar to run around after him for a while, which is pretty painful. Just going to be seeing the Reaper going down. Hellion is being chased. 6 workers die in total, my goodness. This is painful. This is bad. This is a lot of damage taken. Things continue down to the bottom right-hand side. You have some Hellions waiting to play. A couple of shots already coming through. Pushing back some of those Lings right now, as we do have things pulling back over to the left. Another Queen out the front. Creep spread still pushing forward. Barracks, Engineering Bay, Hellion Stim. Good stuff being brought into play here. The Viking continues out as well. Well, after the Viking, it was a Liberator in the end, so still sort of seeing something similar to what we saw last time around. Engineering Bays and the Barracks continue up. Get over to the far left. Liberator activates onto the Overlord for a couple of moments, so we'll find a little bit of damage right there. Another Extractor will go down, and Liberator will siege. Not where it really wants to be. It's actually in range of a Queen right now. Clem would hopefully notice that and move it. It's very unclem. It's funny because in Clem's mind, I think this Liberator is completely safe, so he's not paying attention to it because he thinks he sieged it up in a safe place. He really didn't. It might even be worth bringing the Lib home at this point, getting it repaired, and then sending it back in. Instead of just sending it back in while already on lower HP, you know. Team is getting picked away at. The Queen's still moving around. Of course, Clem on his way to 1-1 upgrades and that combat shield as well. Just continues to bring this through. Hellions poking around on the left for a couple of moments, and again, still just seeing 1-1 upgrades, combat shield coming by. What Creep Team is being picked away at. Hellions get back over the right-hand side. Viking gets rid of 1 Overlord already as well. It's just going to pick that off. Scaling speed starting up on the Baneling Nest as well. And the Hydra Den is just over halfway done already. The double medevac making its way towards the upper left-hand side. So again, just a little bit of a journey forward for these guys. Look to see what they can do. Hellions in the upper right. Queen's coming around. Creep Team is dropping. First Hellion trying to get over there, as we do have our Marines just dropping out from the medevacs. And ready to push into the far left side. Creep Team will drop down, pushing further forward. Queen's just going to come through. Medevac's going to get forced to be pushed away. And again, just seeing ourselves 2 melee upgrades, Balance Speed coming up, Roof Spines as well. Solar is getting to the point where at least he's going to be able to play his game a little bit, right? I mean, to be fair, that was the same in the last game. Kind of got set up nicely, he got to the lurkers. Clem still just transitioned well, was able to push through. Tell you what, a lot of stuff on the way actually from Solar, but what about right now? He's 20 army supply down. Is he in trouble against this fight? Clem presses up, he's going to stem in. 1 Queen goes down immediately. Some Hellbats will take to the front lines. They will be the tanks right here. Those Queens already being picked away at. We see the Marines pulling back a little bit again. Liberator's still hanging about as the Lingbane runs forward. Widowmine shot good on a few of those Lings. A couple of shots from the Widowmine's actually pretty decent. I just continue to come across as well. Still seeing that Drilling Claws coming through. Marines and Medevacs, extra barracks, all in production. 2 melee upgrades coming out with the Muscular Augments and Overlord Speed. Mauling Hydra producing. Queens on the way. Danes on the way. Barracks on the way. As Clem powers up his further attacks. I still like a lot of what Solar is doing as long as he survives to get there. Just surviving to get there against Clem is not always easily done. The Zergling goes down. This Hatchery will take damage. We will see. The Widow Mines continuing to come into play. The Medivac's actually going to boost back, cross over to the center of the map. And what are we going to do with the rest of these Marines? Bane Hydra comes in. Medivac is going to lift up and get away. Other 2-2 coming out. 15 more Banes coming in. I like the fact that obviously at this point we have Clem just starting to split push. That means that Solar has to be very on top of his defense, has to be good in both locations. This little avenue up here as well for the Terran. No way to really flank this army, and he knows that there's no creep in front of this base essentially, so he's going to have a good run into this position. So that's something you can like a lot. Over there is Clem, as these first few Banelings get absolutely evaporated. Now Marines are going to keep moving forward. Another Baneling goes down. A couple of Lings getting shot down as well by a Widow Mine. Bioforce is going to sit there and continue to fight it out. Overseer's overhead. Widow Mine shots going for some of those hits as well. Bane Hydra still joining together. The Bioforce still collecting up. That's rid of both those Overseers, by the way. Solar, his best move, the attack up the middle. That's really effective on Hecate. This time Clem has an army already back over here. Some of these Widow Mines definitely helping. I'm pulling all the way back. The rest of the Hydras continue to come through. And in the end, I think Clem's going to clean this up. This didn't really achieve what it did last time. Clem did lose the army in the top right, so nothing left with those Medivacs now. One Baneling is going to crash in, but Clem just on the chase. Baneling didn't even do that much, and the Bio will continue to hunt down some of these Hydras, so extra damage being dealt. We got drones going down. A Widow Mine over here just connects from the edge. It must not have been cleaned up earlier on, and maybe Solar missed it again. There's no Overseer being made. He's got no detection. Actually, could hit one more time, so that Widow Mine continues to look to be good. Medevac loads up from Clem. Going to peel away over to the left-hand side. Fire comes up. Crypt Shimmer's going down. The Overlord's still getting pulled back and away. Hydra Bane coming through. Those few Lings around the right looking to see if they can make a difference as the Banes crash forward. A couple of these Banes still head on through. The Widow Mines getting picked up as they go. Just seeing the Medivacs, the Lings, the Banes, the Hydras all continuing across right now. Firefighting once again. The rest of the Banes come forward here. Just going to be seeing SCVs going down all over the place. That's 17, 18 workers dropping. In the top left, Clem's attack does get cleaned up. So Clem actually losing quite a lot of SCVs. Solar with a bit of a decent dive in. The Mines could potentially siege up right here and maybe get something done. Some of the Widow Mines have been really good in this game. Solar definitely making a fight out of this. It did not look pretty for him previously, but 5 bases putting the pressure on the Terran player. As long as he doesn't need too big a Widow Mine shot anyway. How did that Widow Mine go off? You're kidding me. That was actually dead when it blew things up. That was actually not fair. That needs to be looked at. That was that was some BS right there. Holy goodness. I'm a Terran player, and I thought that was disgusting. As these Banelings are going to come by, and they're going to get crushed as they try and advance forward. Hydra Lings still looking to make a little bit of a push in. You see the Bio going to continue to just pull back a little bit. I mean, just cutting away off creep is obviously some good efficiency here for Clem, so doing pretty okay on that regard. 3 upgrades still coming through. The extra Medivacs and Marines all producing Widow Mines as well. Link Bane Hydra coming through one more time. Widow Mine goes for a couple more Zerglings as well. One more Widow Mine gets burrowed up. 12, 13, 14 drones going down across the map. It's Widow Mines and it feels like Liberators. Yeah, I was going to say they were going down at a rate at which didn't make sense for just mines. Liberators finding a lot of damage. Man, Clem's Liberator harass throughout the series has been great. Especially some of the later game Liberator harasses have really delivered as well, so that's also been fantastic. Bane Hydra coming through, pushing forward. Left side, there's a little drop from Marauders, finishes off a base. Becoming more and more serious for Solar to actually come in and end this game, isn't it? Becoming more and more necessary here over the next few moments, perhaps, as Bane Hydra continues to come through. Fester as well. The rest of these lanes going to go hang around. push continues by. The rest of this army collects together. Kind of feels as though we're kind of running out of steam here as Clem a little bit on this defense up the ramp. However, that's because he's got units from all angles and he's just waiting for the right fight to go. And Festa now has no energy, and this is where the magic is going to happen. This is where Clem from all angles does collapse in. So it was a bit of a fake move. It was a bit of a fake feeling, right? It's like, it feels like Clem is dying. He's like, Solar's getting deeper and deeper and making more progress. But the reality is Clem's just being very patient, making sure that when he does fight, it's going to end this battle and then end this game and hence end this series and send Clem into the grand finals.